wageni watatu Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Okay, we don't have this thing all messed up. Well, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are grafted into the house under the blood, Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. We welcome you this morning during this Q2UA Africa fundraising week. I have the board with me, and they're going to, cover while I do what I need to do, so I can get Sister Shar's business plan up and running.
You know what? Shalom, family. Good morning. Brother Karis is up early taking jabs. I already got bopped in the head this morning. He is on his coffee, and it is dangerous.
Oh boy. So I this is gonna be a good show because honestly, Sister Shar, I say this. You were gonna talk to Red about the model, right? But I want you to kind of bring that model to our people so they understand, just at a 1,000-foot view of what you're looking at. It doesn't have to go too deep in the woods, but you were saying something that was really profound in terms of what Q2UA is, the legacy of what it's providing for our people, and how that moves a people and a nation forward, because we've been disconnected from the power of relational commerce, both here in the
I like that language. Relational
in the African
commerce.
diaspora. Oh yeah. Don't yeah. I'm phrasing that. That's my trademark phrase. Relational commerce, which is what it is.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I want you, because I'm about to jump on off here in a little bit, but if you can explain to the people what it is that we've done over these last now 15 months. If you didn't know, Q2UA Africa has been around for 15 months. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Man, but there are some times it felt like we were about to have a sudden infant death syndrome. Check the baby, Clarence. Check the baby.
But here's the thing that's so I want to cry, dance, and shout at the same time, because what the Most High has done through this organization, through each and every one of you, we were operating out of the blueprint of the scriptures the whole time, and we did not realize it. So what you were just referring to, Brother Karis, it describes the transition of power when David was dying and a fight broke out amongst brothers, right? You had Adonijah hop up and try to become an opportunist. When he saw the opportunity to seize power, he moved for it. And so Solomon had to establish his kingdom in the book of First Kings first by getting some straightening and getting the right leadership in place. David was responsible for making sure that the prophet Nathan was in place and the priest that he appointed was in place instead of Zadok. Abiathar, I believe, is the name of the priest. But what David did, he set up a leadership around his son before that transition took place. So when you talk about it felt like sudden infant death at times, because there was a transition concerning the establishment of governmental leadership. See, we're a nation without borders. We're a nation without land. We're a nation of people. And when it comes to our specific piece, just here at Question Night Africa, this small little piece that we represent, there had to be the establishment of leadership. And so when you look at the book of First Kings, that establishment of leadership, it came with conflict first. And then those who would be loyal to the king. And here we're not talking about a human king. We're talking about the Most High, right? Who is going to be loyal to the Most High? Who is going to be about his mission? Who is going to be about his business? And that's what you're seeing in the first book of Kings. And that's kind of like the introduction to what we just realized we have been doing all along when it comes to the economy of the kingdom.
So what you're saying is wealth is a kingdom principle. It almost sounds like that's what you're saying.
Hey, when I look at this fourth chapter of Kings, y'all, of what was provided for the king's table, just for Solomon's house, his servants, the people who were his guests. This was a lot. Look, this thing say. This thing says in 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 22, Solomon's provisions for one day was 30 cores of fine flour, 60 cores of meal, 10 fatted oxen, not the skinty ones, the fatted ones, 20 oxen from the pastures, and 100 sheep, beside deer, gazelle, roebuck, and fatted fowl. That's one day's worth of the king's table. That's one day. That's one day. And then when you continue and you go down to verse number 20, what is this? 27. It says, okay, so it was saying that there were 12 governors that were appointed throughout the kingdom who each provided all of these provisions for a month each. Each governor sent all this stuff on a monthly basis. What I just described was one day, right? So if you just look at the sheep, that's what, 300 for the month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This says that in the 20, let me see. This is the 27th verse. It says, I'm trying to find my spot. These governors, each man in his month, provided food for King Solomon and for all who came to King Solomon's table. There was no lack in their supply.
And now this isn't counting the times for the sacrifice and that enormous amount of wealth that it took to do that. because you had the corporate sacrifices, you had personal sacrifices, you had Thanksgiving sacrifices, the sacrifices to the Levites.
Red. I'm just asking for a friend. We're not even talking about the temple sacrifices here. We only talk about what go to the king house.
Exactly. So that's just what they did every day on top of the sacrifices. So what you're saying is this is the equivalent of basically paying out like hundreds of $1,000s a month and then still having time at the end of the year to make over $500,000 investment.
Sir. Because what it's saying is our people were so prosperous. This was just a love offering. This is how prosperous our people were. When we talk about Deuteronomy 28 for real, we're talking about the reverse of the curse. That means that we're going back to where there is no lack in the king's supply. We don't want for nothing. We have so much that what we give at the temple to take care of the Levites and what we give for the king's table to be provided for, that's just a portion.
I had to throw that in there because I think people don't understand is like we're talking about sheep and oxen, but this was literally people's livelihood back in the day. Like how much sheep you had was akin to how much money you had in your bank and how many oxen and rams and all that kind of stuff. And that was also equated into land because to raise animals, you needed land. And if you didn't have enough land, well, you couldn't raise them animals. So if you had a ton of land and a ton of animals, your pockets was deep, very deep.
In other words, these were our business owners. These were the ones who created the wealth of the kingdom. And that wealth is what reflected Solomon's glory as a great king. He was respected because of the prosperity of his people. These were the business owners. Our people, were shepherds. And those who had land, because the Levites were the only ones who did not have land. All the other landowners, you either had sheep or you had some kind of agriculture if you didn't do, some other kind of artisan type stuff.
Right.
So we're talking about business owners here. We're talking about the ones who are creating the GDP, the one who are making things happen are the ones who were making provision for the king. Why? Because with this respect, the king of Tyre in the 5th chapter of Kings, he and Solomon began to discuss business, international business. Y'all, look. We did not realize here at Quest to Unite Africa that we were walking in the steps of our ancestors here, y'all. Solomon does an international deal with the king of Tyre. Why? Because he had cedar wood that was necessary for the building of Yah's temple. He negotiates the contract with Hiram. And he don't even pay for the wood. This is the thing that had me tickled. He didn't even pay for the wood with silver or gold. He paid for the wood with wheat and oil. Why? Because they had plenty of it. They had plenty of it.
Oh man, that's great. So it almost makes sense how they've kind of raised us with this mindset of, oh, money is evil and money is bad. It's almost as if they were trying to put a seed in us to turn us away from our ancient birthrights.
That's exactly what they did, because it's like, and then not only that, but then look at what they did. Look at what they did. They poisoned our number one, you spookified our scriptures, right? You gave us a religion and stripped our cultural identity from it. That's exactly. Number one.
Exactly. Exactly.
You spookified our culture, and then you put these preachers to bastardize the concept of prosperity.
Yes.
Well, we don't want to have nothing to do with nobody talk about no money. We done seen too many thieves flying in jets. You know, like just
Yeah, exactly. Money cometh unto me. Going
man,
out naming and claiming.
claim it.
But they bastardized the way that our ancestors used to walk. Because even when you read about Abraham and Jasher, he used his wealth as a vehicle to show people the Most High. When people would come in, he would set up, even though he had no land, in the lands that he would get handed to him by the king because of favor from the Most High. And then he would erect groves so that when people could walk in, they would stop and eat. He would have food. He would have clothes. He gave people stuff. And as they would sit and come and talk to him, the book of Jasher said it, as they would sit there and eat, and as he gave them hospitality, he talked to them about the Most High. The money is a vehicle to show forth the goodness of the Most High, because he wasn't using it for selfish purposes. He was using it to edify the people all around him.
Yes. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Abraham, Brother Red, because Abraham was a king with no land.
He sure was.
He was a king with no land. And that's why, like, even when I talk to other attorneys about the Bible, I'm like, you do realize that this book is a deed to real estate. Like, Abraham, our forefather, was a landless king.
Yes. When Isaac was born, all the kings and all the nobles of all the land came out there to his celebration. Everybody came out. All the who's who of who came to Isaac's birthday. Like a king.
And Abraham had everything a king has. He had the land. He had the servants. Look, Abraham had a whole standing army. How do we know that? Because what happened when Lot got in trouble?
He ran over there and took everything back. He ran over there, beat them kings, and took everything back with his own group of folks.
Yes, he did. He mobilized a military, right?
Yes, he did.
He was a king in every respect, except he had no land of his own. And that was why the ancient promise to Abraham was concerning real estate. That is why the ancient fight has been about real estate. This scripture is a deed, title transfer of land. Now we are in the same position our ancestor was in.
You know what? That makes sense, because I always tell people the Bible is also a book of lineage. Because why you think there's so many lineages in the Bible? So and so begat so and so begat so and so, because they're tracking ownership. It's literally tracking ownership.
Yes. It's a constitution. It's a title to real estate. It's your lineage tracker. I got a Bible right now, Red, where it is legal evidence of who my people are, because my grandmother kept record of every birth in our family. and most states recognize the validity of a family Bible as a record of your family. This Bible is so legally significant. And so I'm glad that you mentioned Abraham, because our ancestor was wealthy. And when you think about it in the context of the Psalm 83 conspiracy against our people, we can't have this name on us, because this name is synonymous with the wealth of our ancestors.
Exactly. And that's what they stole from us, because that's now what their name is synonymous with.
Yes. And now through, poisoning us through a bastardization of our scriptures, we've also been poisoned against conversations about making money. Like it's almost like a bad word. If you start talking about money, you're not spiritual. Wait a minute. Why is poor synonymous with spirituality? That
And they always show it to you on TVs and stuff too, and everything. The more spiritual one is always the broke, destitute one who just wanders the land seeking enlightenment.
I hate that. I hate it. That's not our portion, family. That is not our portion. And so when when I realized, like, wait a minute, Father, I'm looking at this blueprint, y'all. I'm looking at this blueprint. We're now in a position to understand on a conscious level what Solomon's blueprint was for building. People keep saying Africa doesn't have manufacturing. Africa doesn't have manufacturing. The problem is that there's no manufacturing in Africa. Read the 4th and 5th chapters of First Kings, and you will see that, number one, the people, the businesses had plenty. The businesses served the leadership of the king's table to advance their international interests. With that respect of his wealth, Solomon does this international treaty with Tyre. And once he secures the lumber, he creates a workforce and a manufacturing operation for the processing of lumber and the stone. It's all right here. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, Father.
An example that people that actually we are familiar with, because they've always, they've taken everything and put a put a European tint on it. But it's the same thing akin to when you had the king and his noble class. The nobles were people that were business owners. They were artisans. If you look at different nobles, each of the families had a certain vertical of business they were in. Some dealt in diamonds, some dealt in like mining and whatnot. Some dealt in textiles and whatnot. Some had agriculture, and all of them would come together. And just as you said, that's what they would do. They would work internationally. That's why the king would always make sure he had to keep his nobles happy, in what the traditional stories we've heard from, the English monarchy and how they do things, but it's literally just a copy of what we used to do before, more of a bastardization, because their nobles were just not loyal and ridiculous at all. But that is the blueprint that they got it from.
Yes. I mean, now that you mention that, I wish I could recall the scripture that talks about how the builders of our people were removed. So when you talk about that class of people that create opportunity, people who are the business owners, so the innovators,
that's who they took into captivity the most of the time. They were the main ones they would grab, because Daniel and Meshach and all of those men, they were literally the scientists, as to use the modern word, of that time. and the astronomers and all of that. They were the thinkers that they were brought personally to the king, because they were the best of the best.
Yes. So that was a part of judgment of our people, was to separate innovation from the. It was a separation of the innovation from the workforce, right? So when you're looking at Solomon ruled during peace and the prosperity of Yasharul. And so you see that he combined the innovation and the resources and the workforce, and that's how the temple was built.
Exactly.
So it was a combination of the businesses prospering so that the international clout could, that there was to create the international clout that secured the international contracts that created jobs in manufacturing. And the evidence of all of that, the temple, right?
Yes.
So it's such a beautiful blueprint. And that's why, like, this week we're talking about business, because Q2UA is standing on business. This week we're promoting our brother and our sisters, Q2UA's own Nature's Legacy Garden, and their innovation, because we understand that when we are building up each other's businesses, when we are creating wealth, what was the word that Brother Karras just dropped, that term? Relational
commerce.
Relational commerce. I like that.
And it's actually a thing. That is actually a thing. I looked it up while you were talking.
Commerce. That is our legacy. That's why our people prospered.
Yep. That's how the current folks have prospered. Because I was just telling I was just telling some folks on the board the other day when we had a conversation that, you know, I've worked in a lot of different verticals I've seen a lot of different verticals here in our American captivity, and I've seen a lot of different businesses, big to small. And I can tell you very few of them are run very well. It's the strength of the relationships that keep a lot of these folks going. Straight up, when you hear a lot of these owners talk about their, because they love to talk about the history of their business and stuff. So I'll listen, because I'll be always trying to listen. And how did you get here? What did you do to get there and stuff? Man, it's all relationships. Somebody that they knew, they hooked them up with somebody else that they knew that got them an end to this, or somebody told them about something and they went and started the business and got into something that they got a tip on. That's how that thing works. Or they work off the strength of relationships between knowing other business owners, and they just work together. It's all relationships
together.
They can't stand each other, but they'll work together.
Hey, they speak. Look, their money is the language they speak is let's make some money.
That's it.
Every time I, have interface with my colleagues and other stakeholders on the continent, I find that conversation has everybody smiling. Hey, we want to figure out how to help you make some money.
Who doesn't like to hear that?
Right. Because if you're making money and if you're prospering and we're all on the same mission, which is what? Yah's glory, then there is no lack among us. None. Everybody eats.
Exactly. There's no need to hoard over anything, because if everybody's good, then everybody is literally good. It all goes up. See, we got it backwards over here. They call it the trickle down, where it's supposed to come from the top and go down. It actually goes from the bottom up. When your people are good and the foundation is good, then everything is good.
Yes.
When your people are prosperous, then you can sell goods, and you can sell amazing goods because people can afford it. That's some of the problem in some of the harder nations now for even doing business. It's like you can't do business because who can you do business with when folks can barely get by? If folks are scrimping and scraping just to get food in the morning, how in the world are they going to come out here and buy, make a move to do something that's, benefits you, that benefits everything in the long run? You can't. You can't. How can you buy land when you can barely buy food?
That's the wickedness of what has happened in this neo-colonialism, brother. It's like, wow, y'all really scrambled up all the pieces on us.
They took all the control into this a money system that you can't grow, because they took food. It used to be what you could grow. So they took it out of that and put it into something that they can control in all areas. And that's what we see.
Exactly. And that's why even being in a position where we can bring reliable information to our brothers and sisters who are looking to set up, who are looking to make moves on the continent. Everybody realizes that the continent is the next move. I mean, like, do not be mistaken. The next play is the continent, right?
It's like going back to the 1950s with today's knowledge.
Well, it is, but here's the wrinkle on it. Here's the gaming, like modern aspect of it. The way that they use the SWIFT system and the policies that have been put in place, if you go over there expecting to find a business owner friendly environment as we enjoy here in the United States, you will be traumatized. They have suppressed business opportunity through the, what do you call it? The small business owner. Small businesses have been the backbone of the United States, period. Exactly. That has been the foundation of the prosperity of this place. Now we're in this technological age where now multinational corporations and the power of technology are now threatening the life, the sustainability of the small business owner model.
They've allowed it to become that threat, because what they've done is they've started through a process of get rich quick. They use people's greed against them, because in the tech realm, there used to be tons of small business techs. You know, they would have different startups that would create different products or different platforms. And it was far more broad back when the internet first started. But then people started getting greedy, and they even made TV shows about it, like Silicon Valley, where you had a whole bunch of young guys get together. They start a startup, and their whole goal is to sell their business. Why would you do that? You just make a sell for that one time, and then that's it. But you're selling to that business is going to take your thing and make billions. And that's what's happening now. All the smaller businesses are selling to the big businesses, and everything is combining into one. There's so many things behind the scenes that are being bought up. And even small business owners that had small IT businesses, small IT consulting businesses, they're selling to bigger businesses because the market has gotten so hard. They're all selling now. So they're taking away. It's like a reversal of, to go back into scripture, it's a reversal of what's happening, because the small business now in America is not even slowly, it's rapidly being eroded away.
But did you see Mr. Robot, Brother Ed?
Oh no, I didn't see. I've
seen
parts of it. I haven't seen the
Robot?
whole thing. No, I haven't seen the whole thing of Mr. Robot.
So the nemesis in Mr. Robot is called Evil Core.
Mm-hmm. Evil Corp. Yep.
Evil Corp.
Mr. Robot is a whole allegory of what they do, basically.
It is. Yeah, I love to talk geeky with you, Brother Red. Like, look, so the whole goal of Luciferian stuff, right? Evil Corp is control, which means that the business of acquiring smaller businesses is really the acquisition of your independence.
Yes.
From Evil Corp.
That is the true demonic way. That is what they do. Yep.
That's why we got to take care of our small businesses. That's why we got to make sure our people eat. That's why when our people step up into look, business ownership is not for the faint of heart. The true, the true what do you call it? Frontline troops of independence, financial independence, are business owners.
Yep.
And so here in Q2UA Africa, there is nothing but love for our brothers and sisters who are stepping into the realm of business ownership, waving the banner of financial independence through wealth creation. We have to support that. We have to support that. And it's going to be Nature's Legacy Garden this go round. Next month, it's going to be another business. We're going to keep promoting and helping other businesses in our ecosystem to generate wealth. Why? Because that is kingdom.
Speaking of Nature's Legacy Garden, let's go to a quick clip about them so people can understand just what we're talking about. This is from Nature's Legacy Garden. And you can get more information about Nature's Legacy Garden by going to Q2UA's website. We have a banner on there where you can click on that banner, and then they'll take you to their website, and you'll get a lot more information about the services that they offer, which is about land restoration, which is really awesome. Hearing Sister talk about her business when we had our meeting, it was very interesting. I was like, man, I always love land restoration type stuff, because it was over here they call it the tree hugging hippie thing, but I think it's actually truth. Is that nature needs to be respected. The earth is a living being, just like the Most High created all of us, and we have to understand our existence and coexist with it, so that we don't just be like how what we've seen in these folks, because I could tell you like what they did down here in Florida. They dug for magnesium, had all this radioactive water sitting in this tower to the point where it started seeping through the tower. So what do they do with it? They dump it in the Gulf. And then they wondering why we got red tides and fish dying all over the place and people getting cancer, eating all these radioactive fish that come up out of the water and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we got to find a different way to do things. It's one of the things that I always say that I'm always talking about is we can definitely do business, and we learned a lot being here, but we have to do it the righteous way. And that is what we're talking about here, is that it's not just about getting money. It's about money doing it the righteous way and walking and doing it the way the Most High told us to do it. Because so many times we see money as a misnomer, and we get, we get a natural aversion to it because we've only seen it done the wrong way. But how you know the right way if not a righteous person doesn't rise up to lead the way to do the righteous thing with it, to show that you're not just using it for your selfish gain, but you're using it for the good of a people.
You know what, Red? You might not be a morning person, but boy, when you go in, I can't tell.
I'm adaptable. I'm very, very adaptable.
You what you were just saying about the earth being, like a living being. You were just saying the same thing that was revealed in the book of Esdras. I don't know if it was first or second Esdras. That conversation about the earth crying, yes. About her children. Yes. I'm so glad that you said that, because you all are in for a treat on Friday. I believe we're confirmed to have the Nature's Legacy Garden leadership team coming on here live to share with you straight from the heart of its founders. And I'm telling you, that passion, when you hear Sister Ashley talk about what she does, like, you can't help but get excited. I personally have not been one who can be ever accused of being a green thumb. I have killed more plants than I wish to admit. But when I listen to this sister and her talk about her passion for the earth and all of the systems and how they all relate to each other, it makes so much sense. It makes you want to get involved. It makes you want to reconnect with where the source of our food comes from, right?
Right.
She is so connected in her purpose and in her gift. And when you hear from this sister firsthand, you will hear the love of Yah operating through her gift in the area of land restoration and teaching this respect and love for the source of our food. You're going to be so blessed. You are going to be so blessed to hear from her. So we definitely want to support this. I'm looking forward to the gardening class, because we even had like a Wednesday night meeting that kind of turned into a mini.
Exactly. It did.
Fascinating.
I was sitting listening. I was like, man, this is great. And because it's a part that people don't understand. Like, people don't understand the word of the Most High is absolute in every aspect, even in how we work according to this earth and how we treat the earth. He said that when you pull from the earth, you pull for 7 years and let that earth rest. They didn't do that here. And this is why they had the Dust Bowl in America, because they were greedy and they kept pulling and pulling from the land, and the land died. But in their rebellion, they didn't try to do it the way of the Most High. In their rebellion, they used their science to come against the Most High's word and grow regardless. So they could just grow all the time and use this stuff to artificially force the ground to yield to them, but it doesn't yield proper fruit. It's false fruit. The vegetables and stuff that we get is not alive. It's dead because it's not real, because they've used these chemicals to try to force something that against the will of the Most High. So this is why even in little things like using and how you till the ground, the Most High word applies. But Christianity has got us so just lawless that we don't even see that how we treat the earth, how we treat the animals is also in accordance to the Most High's law.
Yes, it's all connected. And look, you talk about relational commerce. our relationship with the earth, Red.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yes, I've been far more. I asked me out to forgive me for little dumb stuff I did as a kid, poking at little animals, and even sometimes just killing little things. Instead of now, I look at their purpose. Even spiders that I used to hate, spiders have a purpose. I don't mind spiders sitting in front of my doorway no more because they keep the moth out. I don't mind the little odd lizard that I find because he keeps the bugs and the roaches in check.
Well, I was about to say I need a pass to kill a roach because a sister will not coexist with no roach.
Nah. There's some creatures that don't get no alibi, and the roach is one of them. And there's so many of them. That's why the Most High made them just, that's why you say they replicate like roaches, because there it is right there. The Most High knew ain't nobody gonna like this poor guy, so let me make it so he can replicate it. But even then, they serve a purpose. Everything serves a purpose.
Outside my house.
Outside the house, exactly. I was like, when you in my house, you out of order, and now you got to suffer.
Right. You get what you get when you cross this threshold.
That's right. That's right. Flies, roaches still get no quarter in my household. So hey,
yes.
I might release a spider, if I'm feeling magnanimous enough, and I can get them, in a little place. I release them and take them outside. But roaches, nah, I'm sorry, son.
Nah. Yeah, I'm cool with spiders too, and we have a lot of spiders in Georgia. Oh my goodness, this place is like a city in the trees, and we have lots and lots of spiders in Georgia.
That's where they had all them the webs that be all in them trees and stuff.
Oh, plenty spiders here. And when I was in Florida, I developed an affection towards lizards because of the roach management.
That's right.
I don't beef with no lizard. I like lizards.
I'm telling y'all, ladies, y'all be mad at them lizards, but which is worse, the lizard or the roach? I'm just saying. Next time you see that lizard and that natural enmity comes up, let your mind kick in and be like, wait a minute now, he keep the roaches at bay.
That's right. That's right. Oh yeah, me and lizards, we all right.
You're not gonna crawl on your food and all that stuff. The worst is you might find him dried out somewhere because he couldn't find nothing. That's it.
Exactly. I don't have no beef with a lizard.
Hey, the lizards do work. I let them do their thing. I see them. I say, hey, you earn your keep, my friend.
Yes,
get them bugs and earn your keep.
Yes,
I got the idea because even on farms, they use animals naturally. They have dogs, and that's their guards. They have big breed of dogs. Big. I was watching this Eastern European farmers. All the animals work in concert on the farm. They didn't even need to have somebody out there guarding the animals because they had the dogs. And the dogs naturally knew what to do. They knew how to go out there, do their thing, and protect it. No animal came close because them dogs was there to beat them up.
Wow.
It's a synergy that goes with everything, how everything works together. And we lose that here in America because we live such a detached digital. I always tell people we live in a cyberpunk future. We just haven't gotten to the body mods yet.
Yeah. No, that's such a good point that you made, because it was like when you have righteous order in place, there's a harmony amongst creation. I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, wow, because shout out to Brother Travis with our Q2UA family. He kind of brought First Kings to the forefront of my consciousness, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go back and read through Kings again, and I'm seeing all this juicy deliciousness in here about the government, righteous leadership, righteous economy. Where when you have the right. You have that righteous order in place. What you were talking about, Brother Red, that harmony of all other creation, it was self-protecting.
Right. Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Exactly. The Most High has everything set up in a perfect circuit. The earth is literally a perfect circuit in and of itself. It keeps the water and everything within itself. All the animals have a purpose in how they do things. You may not like vultures, but the vultures are a part of the cleanup process. Even down to the bacteria. We're always told bacteria is bad. Bacteria is actually good. It serves a function. It is a small machine that breaks down things that even after the vulture's done, it breaks it down even further on the microscopic level. The Most High has everything set up in a function, and it has an order, and that order is disrupted by these folks that's the children of the fallen ones. Because when you read in Enoch, one of the things he told the angels to do is go back and repair the earth that the angels ruined. They didn't respect the order of Yah. They didn't respect how he had things set up, even in the earth. See, we always look at it as, oh, you shouldn't fornicate. Oh, you shouldn't say these different things. Disrespecting Yah is also going against his order in the earth. When you don't treat the earth properly and when you don't follow his rules and how to do the earth, you are transgressing the will of the king.
Man, that's it. And they've normalized lawlessness, right?
Yes.
So you took the people, who represent the righteousness of Yah, his order, respect for the law, and matter of fact, creation is the witness of his law. All of his laws are encoded in what he created.
Sister Shar, I know you probably don't even know this, but everything out there, there's this rule. I'm not gonna go too geeky in it, but it's called the golden ratio. And this golden ratio has a set of numbers associated, 5 something. I can't remember the numbers after. It's like 5 point something. But this golden ratio is found in everything. It's found in how the plants grow, from the patterns that go on a turtle's back to how rabbits reproduce. Like almost everything in nature expresses this ratio. It's like a signature. It's like when an artisan creates something and they put their signature on it. That is what this ratio is, because you can mathematically express this ratio in so many different aspects of nature. And it's consistent. It is a consistent rule. It is literally a consistent law in nature that you can express mathematically in so many ways.
Wow.
This is why I always say you raise your understanding, because the Most High will give unto your understanding, and then you'll be able to see that, man, the Most High's word stretches so far.
And that's our job, right? We're the witness of his law, of his created order. We are the reminder of where the boundary, the ancient, what is it called? The ancient landmarks. Don't remove the ancient landmarks. Yes. These are the boundaries for humanity where we are safe. And so you take the people who represent that witness, and then you indoctrinate them into a lawless spirituality. Got us eating the porridge with the blood in it. I mean, I'm talking about mess us up.
That analogy holds so true. The more I learn about Babylon, I'm like, man, they really was putting blood in the porridge.
Brother. Got us eating the bloody porridge, defiled us, so that the witness of Yah's created order is no longer calling the rest of humanity in check.
Correct. Because look at who they all imitate. I have never in my life seen Asians twerk before.
Don't put that in my mind.
I can't. Man, look, I'm telling you, it was like a flexible ironing board. I was so shocked at what I saw. I'm like, what in the world? I'm talking about Asian R&B. Since the R&B done stopped over here, I heard this R&B song. I'm like, what in the world? And then she started singing Japanese, and I'm like, sounded like something straight off of a sister. Straight up. We innovate. We always talk about how we innovate everything, but we innovate for the wrong reasons. You got jokers out here. I'm talking about a bunch of Japanese dudes sitting in a room with Hennessy bottles and weed on the table. Come on.
What?
I ain't never seen no Japanese drink Hennessy. I didn't even know they had Hennessy in Japan.
We're so infectious as a culture. And the thing is, it's like we just be minding our business, whether it be for ratchet or for greatness.
That's it.
Our culture is so infectious. And when we are intentional about our responsibility as that royal priesthood.
Yes.
So when you think of royal priesthood, right? What's that? 2 Peter 2:9 or is that 1 Peter 2:9?
Royal priesthood.
The royal priesthood. Think about it now.
People,
royal
darkness.
Royal means wealth, power, influence.
Yes, the influence. Yes,
priesthood,
and that's why they have it perverted.
Yes, Priesthood points to the way,
Mm.
the clean way, the right way, how to hit the mark, how to live in that peculiar separation of holiness from common. That's who we are.
Mm.
So we're walking into with our people coming into this understanding. We're walking into the priesthood aspect of it by restoring our relationship with the law and with the word. Now we got to put that royal on it, y'all.
Mm.
Because that respect for a king is based on his treasury.
Yes.
And they convinced us through the bloody porridge that our spirituality is connected to poverty.
Yeah.
We supposed to be running up in somebody's church every week praying for a phone bill.
Right. Bringing the bill into the church.
It made me mad, Red, when I think about it.
It's foolishness, man.
It's foolishness.
They tell you that wealth is coming, but don't tell you how to build the wealth and how to maintain the wealth. They don't give you classes and telling you how to invest your money and how to move your money around. Because a lot of people have the desire to, they just don't know how.
Exactly. And I was giving myself my 20 minutes of Instagram brain rot the other day, and there was like this video, I guess it's from a movie or some kind of show. It was this Black lady. She said that it was like 8 or 9 people living in her house and her washing machine broke down and it's going to be $1,100 to fix the flooding in the washing machine. And she was telling this to an older Black man. They both look, like how our people are always depicted as poor and struggling. And then the older Black man walks away wanting to find a way to help this other sister. And then he walked into a church looking all sad and beggarly. I couldn't watch the rest of it. I scrolled. I'm like,
oh, no.
I can't do this.
Oh, I hate that. Yes, that's what they play. And they love putting us there because it pulls a heartstring of, help the poor and the needy. That's what they've done with Africa. Look at the poor and the needy.
Oh, welfare is our...
Yes, we stopped making businesses. We stopped making Tulsa when they integrated us and threw welfare at us. That's when they really gave us the coup de grace to just take the innovation out of us, because we still were innovating before. Tulsa there were 14 Black-owned businesses in America during the time of post-slavery nonsense. 14. Now we could build then. What's stopping us now?
What's stopping us now, Brother Red? I'm thinking about it, right? Even with the way they gamed us with the whoredom between the pulpit and the democratic policies that have kept Black people beholden to that political party, right? What did they do? They used the Black preacher to remind Black people that it was our duty to vote for the Democrats. And what was usually one of the top promises? Government programs. Programs.
Not money, not an education to get money, just a program to hand you money.
Hand you some money and keep you dependent on the system.
Them phones that George Bush handed out that Obama put his name, well, they put Obama's name on, but it was George Bush. They were giving phones instead of, helping people get money so they can afford to buy their own phone.
It's always welfare. They always have been asking for our people's loyalty for a handout or a chicken dinner. Like, can we stop selling our loyalty for one chicken dinner?
That's it. They don't even promise nothing tangible no more. They just, they just come in expecting it. So much so that these jokers can get on TV and say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black.
I wanted to throw something at the TV when I saw that man say that. I'm like, he said what?
They disrespect us openly because they know that we are, in our current fallen state, we're a joke. We don't demand nothing real. You know, we just go off of empty platitudes and don't use our brain to think to say, hey, wait a minute, we're actually getting screwed no matter who's sitting in that chair.
Right.
It don't matter who's in that chair. They don't got our best interests in mind.
We're supposed to be the beggars of the world.
Right.
We're supposed to be walking out with looking sad and ashy, asking somebody for something. Why? We're the most brilliant people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff we think up, man. You know what? I'm excited about what Brother Mike got a treat for y'all starting next week. But I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a teaser. He talked about how some of the stuff that he sees, just the innovation of our brothers and sisters in Africa. It is unbelievable. Some of it, the creativity that we have, we will make a way, find a way, get it done. And we don't see it for the brilliance that it is. We don't treasure our creativity for the beauty that Yah made us to be in our creative state. We take for granted the gift of what he's given us in the way that we see things and the way that we put things together, and we value and treasure what someone else says is valuable more than valuing us.
Our people have been like in a woman in a bad relationship. You know, you can have a beautiful woman with all the talents and skills, but she fall for the wrong dude, and the dude don't even be worth nothing. You be looking like, why is she with him? And he'll dog her out and say all kinds of stuff to her and tell her she ain't, nothing. She's not attractive, and he'll just drag her along because she doesn't see herself for the beautiful person that she is. She just sees the hurt and the trauma and the pain that's going on. And that's what we see. We just focus on the hurt, the trauma, and the pain and the current circumstance that we're in, instead of being like, wait a minute, now that we're awake, we got to fully wake it up and see ourselves out of these circumstances, out of these curses. It's not that the curses haven't lifted off of us. It's that we have to get in the mindset and start moving. We think the curses ain't on us because nothing magically fell in our hands. It ain't going to magically fall into your hands. You can either be the servant that's going to sit back and bury your talent, or you can take that thing and put it to work. Put it to use. To put it to work, that means you got to do something. That means you have to move on something. That means you don't just sit back and wait and just be like, oh, I'm waiting. That means you say, okay, what can I do with what I have? I can't do what this person does, but what can I do with this? If I can do this and I can give it to this, or I can, use it to form this and do that, boom, that's how you do with it. You can't look at the fact that what you don't have. You have to look at what you do have.
Yes. We're only cursed by consent, family. Yes. Like, now that the curse has lifted off of us, the only way for us to be cursed is by our own agreement to be cursed. It's the same thing that Balaam was teaching. I forget who the king was who reached out to Balaam, like, hey, I need you to curse these people. He said, I can't curse who the Most High bless, but I tell you how you can curse them. Get them to defile themselves.
Poison the blood in the porridge.
Put the blood in the porridge, and they have to eat it themselves.
Hey, we're not gonna pass over that bar. Cursed by consent. That was a bar right there.
You know what?
Cursed by consent.
Cursed by consent. Hey,
what the old preacher say? That'll preach.
Man, look. Hey, you know me, I'm hyper vigilant about my agreement. I'm like, look, I'm gonna break that agreement right there. That cup gonna pass over me. I'm not gonna agree to poverty. I'm sorry. You're not gonna pass that down to me. And even the Catholic Church, isn't that one of their sacraments? Poverty.
Yep. They do everything the opposite of the Most High.
Sir.
Everything. The men and women aren't allowed to marry. They're supposed to give up their personal possessions and be broke and live off the charity of the church. And they're supposed to be the most holy ones, quote unquote.
Wickedness.
No. Front, we all know, but still.
That's
the mindset they want to put people in, so that way when you see wealth, oh, that's not holy. No, really? But the in heaven, the streets are paved with gold, but down here is bad. Okay.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one, Brother Red, because the whole die and go to heaven thing, like that, that
Oh,
itch, and I like my blood boils. Like the whole, I was listening. I forget what it was years ago. I was listening to an old black song that was talking about. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the song right now. It'll come to me, but I'm jamming to the song because of the soul of our people, and it just moves you when you hear that emotion that comes from us just effortlessly. And the more I thought about the song, I began to cry because I was like, wait a minute, this song is like a whole celebration of life gets better when we dead.
Oh my goodness. Man, let me tell you, when your enemy, because I'll tell folks right now, just as a cautionary tale, when you see folks on channels, when you see stuff up there, don't covet something, that you see, because the enemy don't play fair. The enemy come and he slaps hard. He slaps hard. I was going through something similar. Enemy just coming at me in my mind, saying all kinds of stuff, trying to pull down. Oh, you don't deserve this. You don't have this. You don't deserve this. You just this. And then came with that same line. Oh, you'll just have to just die and get your reward in heaven. See, that's what they want us to think. Because once you're out of the earth, once the righteous are out of the earth, then they can come in and take care of everything and do what they want to do, their evil plan. Because when the salt is gone, then they can come in and just do what they want with the bland flavor of everything that's left. Then they could put their seasoning on things and just corrupt the whole stew.
Exactly.
That's why they taught that crap. It's not for us to just go to the great by and get your reward in heaven. That's not it. You're not supposed to live as a pauper and just be going from hand to foot everywhere you go. That's not it. Not saying everybody got to be a baller with a yacht, but at the same time, no, you shouldn't be lacking for nothing. You shouldn't have to live in a hard life that's this way. It's only done this way because of who is in charge of this world.
Exactly.
And once you understand that and you pray to make that move, it's going to not just happen magically. You got to change your mindset. You got to change how you move and do things. That's the essence of what Sister Shar is bringing up, to say that, hey, we need to reconnect back into the ancient ways of how we dealt with wealth and prosperity. We got to get back to how our forefathers did it and do it the right way. The way that the Most High told us to do things. And it's all right there. He tells you, hey, after 7 years, you don't, if a person can't pay interest, you let that interest go. If a servant works for you for a certain amount of time, you don't hold them in there to make them work as an unbound slave. You give them the option. If they want to stay with you, they can stay. If they want to go, they can go. He gave us the clear blueprint on how to run our business. The Levitical laws were not just laws for how to conduct things spiritually. That was the first thing the Most High got in place. But then after that, he started teaching us government.
Yes. Brother Red, you keep saying the word mindset. Set your mind. Choose what you will believe about your rights. Literally, you were talking, it's something you said brought into my mind a curse, a contract over our people. And it was done through that guy who's married to that lady, and they be casting spells on our people. And that song was "It's a Hard Knock Life." That was a curse.
Yes.
And when we say those words out of our mouth, tapping our foot to the beat, nodding our head to the beat, we are setting our mind in the conditioning of that word curse. This is the stuff that when the scripture says that we wouldn't understand the way that these people use dark sentences and words and stuff, we didn't understand that when we were singing these certain songs, we were setting our minds to poverty. We were tuning our thinking to lack. We were agreeing that we not gonna have nothing. That life always has to be hard for us. So a lot of y'all know that, I'm a born Jamaican. My dad's Jamaican. I'm the, the Yankee in my Jamaican family. And I was talking to one of my cousins. I was like, I got a problem. I got a problem with Jamaican music right now. I'm like, why is the word suffering so prevalent in reggae music? Like, it's like since all we do is suffer, we're just gonna own it and wear it as a badge of honor and just make it sound good. I'm like, why is suffering? Why? Why? Can we break agreement with suffering?
Right.
Yes, we're gonna have to fight. Yes, we're gonna have to scrap. Yes, there's going to be, Yah raises our enemies against us. Why? To strengthen us. Why? So that his glory can be shown in the earth through us. But he did not call us to no suffering. I'm like, bro, it's almost like an idol. I'm like, nah, we gonna have to do
It
better.
is true. It is true. I mean, what folks run around. I'ma stay hood. I'ma stay hood till I die. I'm a little hood. And we've glorified the struggle. We've glorified it. It's become an idol. Literally, so much so it's to the point is when a joker, unless the joker gets money by hood means, he's considered, they don't even consider him any kind of way. Unless you've gotten it through sports or through the hood, folks look at you sideways.
Cringe.
You could be out here making good money, but folks will look at you sideways or have more respect for the dude that's the dope boy out there getting it illegal and silly, instead of the one that actually figured out the proper way to get wealth. We don't value that. We value, look at the folks that we value. I mean, it's something that I say all the time, and it's been like a big thing for me. It's like when you see women become studs, they become the model of the man that has influenced their life the most. And what do? Black women mainly become that type of category, usually as a thug. You always see them dressed up as a thug because the thug life has become our idol. We don't idolize the businessman and whatnot. And even then, when we idolize the businessman, they idolize Donald Trump. I don't know if people remember Donald Trump used to be the hood icon. There was so many rappers talking about him. But what does he represent? He's the same way. He's lawless. He's
a liar. There is no truth in him.
None. we idolize the wrong things, and this is how they keep us off of our game, because you can't have prosperity in the Most High if you're a liar. You can't have prosperity in the Most High if you're idolizing the thug. The thug was literally a religion over in India. They were called the Thuggies, and they would go out and they would hide, and they would have one person, a part of their group, befriend travelers, and when they got to a certain point, they would jump them and kill them, all in the name of the god Kali. This is the thing that we have taken on as a people. This is the poison, the blood in our porridge that keeps us from wealth. Because you can't be blessed doing these type of things. This brings curses.
Exactly. And as you're talking, I'm thinking all they've done when they gave money to these gifted people out of our people to speak these curses over us for us to agree to in their music. They made them prophets over our future.
Yes.
They were prophesying lawlessness and poverty over us the whole time.
Exactly. Because all the songs we talking about broke and being broke down and all that stuff. Oh man, those R&B songs used to go hard, man. Sitting there talking about the struggle, ain't got no money in the pocket.
Yes. Or when you do have money, then I mean, all the ratchetness. I see a sister had put here. No. This is a brother said that hip hop is wicked frequency. The language, the message, and then like the amount of time that they're broadcasting it over the airwaves, right? So before you were able to just like download your personal library, this stuff was hitting us in the radios. Those of us who were listening to the radio station, they were putting these things on repeat. I remember coming up in middle school and high school, all of those songs, you knew all of the lyrics to them, and then you were all cool and bopping and repeating all these curses.
That when you just said Hard Knock Life, man, I still hate that song. I've never liked that song. It always bothered me. It's so funny that you talk about it just irritated me. And I was a Jay-Z fan, but I hated that song. And they played it all the time. All the time. It would be stuck in my head, and I don't even like the song because I'd be walking through the mall and you would hear it playing in Sam Goody.
Keeping us in our place by consent.
through repetition, repeatedly having us hear brokenness, poverty, and the only way to get money is through these syphilis things that, oh, money is when you have these golds and diamonds and stuff. That's why when soon as when black folks get money, what do? They go and they buy some material crap to look like they're rich instead of actually buying rich things, because that's what's been put in front of us. Because guess what? Most of those rappers, they're not rich. They're not. They look like they're rich, but they're not. And since that's what we idolize, we've taken on their persona. We're not rich. We just look like we're rich, but passing money up to the real rich people.
Pimped out.
Straight up pimped out.
That's why we have to return to our rightful place in the economy. We have to return to seeing that we are the apple of Yah's eye, that his beauty is upon us, which is why the world looks to us for our influence. That is why we have to support each other. We have to build each other up. We have to hold each other accountable. And we have to stand in that place where we are insisting on giving glory back to our King. We are the children of the King, and our King owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns the earth and everything in it. He lacks for nothing, and we as his children are to lack for nothing. This is why Yahushua said in Matthew 6:33, he said, look, you up here praying about food and clothes. You tried the King. He making sure that the flowers of the field taken care of. The birds in the air want for nothing. They don't even work for what they eat. And you praying about food? I'm going to need you to go understand who the King is. I'm going to need you to go learn of the King, his government, and his righteousness. And then you're going to see how you lack for nothing. That's what Yahushua was saying in Matthew 6:33. Look first, seek first God's kingdom. Seek his order. Understand he's the King. Understand he has a governmental system. Understand that his laws are encrypted in every aspect of creation, and that you as his children can command this earth to serve you. You don't want for nothing. I remember coming up in the Baptist church, going to church with my grandma, and a little gold plate passed around. You see these people fold up the little piece of dollar because, you know, that's all they had.
$5 put in, $4 here. Yeah.
You fold it up tight so nobody see how much exactly you put in, because you got to hurry up and pass the plate. You got a little more sophisticated so that it wasn't so obvious. You could see what was in there. But my first memories of money in church was $1 here and some coins in the bottom of the plate.
Yep.
Poverty.
It's true. Everybody the ushers taking it to the back and counting it up.
And you got to come back for the second, third offering because we ain't got enough to cover the light.
We ain't got enough, exactly. Everybody get held hostage. Yep.
I don't know. That was my earliest experience of the church.
I remember that too. I remember getting held up during offering service. The Lord say somebody got 100.
Now we got to squeeze it up out you. And look, a lot of people disdain the church because it's like all they want is your money. You know why? Because we don't understand wealth, and our mind is set and tuned to poverty.
Exactly.
Why is there lack in God's house? You know, like, I'm not going to sit up here and say that every single church and Christian church has been a wicked place, because there have been some men and women who have given their lives in service of the truth and teaching the word of Yah and teaching his ways and the lifestyle that the scripture dictates. And many of them have struggled financially because we didn't understand wealth. We didn't understand economy. We didn't understand how to support each other's business. We didn't understand how to create wealth. We didn't understand how to build a legacy for the next generation. One of the things I'm so excited about in my profession is how many of our people are reaching out and saying, hey, I want to set up a trust. I want to plan for how this is going to pass to the next generation. when I get calls from our people that are setting up trust, I get so excited because I'm like, do you know that this is how other cultures have been avoiding the cost and the expense and the delay of courts in their business when their people die? So the fact that our people are beginning to learn, it excites me. Because now when you start seeing Black folks starting to learn about revocable living trust, why is that so important? Because what you don't want to be is another poor Black family sitting in a court fighting with your people, trying to find out who gonna get what.
Exactly, because no living will was left.
Nobody left instructions and nobody removed their property out of the jurisdiction of the system.
Because we was raised to see that, oh, that's what only rich white people do. That ain't what Black folks do.
We got and you know what? Almost everyone who has set up their trust over the past 4 years through us have been small business owners. Nearly every single revocable living trust we've done, our clients owned a business. They, so that business ownership, it kind of helps you tap into another way of thinking.
Yes. See, it's so funny you said that because Miles Monroe put me onto this years ago, and it was something that always sat in my spirit. But now, given our current situation and how the world is turning, given the awakening, it takes on a whole new meaning. He talked about, and I put this in as a point because I do have another appointment I got to get to in probably about 15, 20 minutes. So he talked about the Most High. We're used to a democracy or this republic that we live in. The Most High is a kingdom. His everything in him is a kingdom. And it is a kingdom mindset. And we disdain it because we've only seen the examples of the Europeans. But what we have to understand is the business class is a noble class. That is where it's at. You have to think like that. Because when you think about it as a noble class, when you think that word noble carries a different significance, you carry yourself differently, you think differently, you walk differently. One of the things, when you look at how these different shows that talk about nobles and how they had to do things, some of the stuff they did is wicked. But some of the stuff, when you look at it, it's true. They weren't driven by their emotions. They were logical. They were business and mercantile minded. They literally are just emulations of us with the perversion of the nonsense tossed in. Exactly. We have to take the will of the Most High and walk in that noble way that he has told us to walk so that he can give us the provisions so that we walk that way and we fix our heart so that we don't follow and do how the Gentiles have done and how the other nations have done and how they do with their wealth. So we can be the example of wealth. Yes. That is what Abraham showed. He didn't go using his wealth to serve his self-serving purposes. That's why the Most High called him friend, because when the Most High visited him and he walked up and he welcomed him into his house and cooked and stuff like that, that's just how Abraham did. That was just Abraham's normal way of doing things with travelers. That's what people don't understand. When you read in Jasher, you see that that's his normal way because that is how he showed forth the goodness of the Most High. But you can only do that when you walk in the power that the Most High has given you. And that power is also money. Money is a tool. It's just like everything else. Your emotions are a tool. You use your compassion for others. You don't just use your compassion selfishly. You use your love for others. Don't use your love selfishly. And the same with your money. You don't use your money with wisdom and don't use it selfishly. These principles go across so many different things.
That is so good because it's all connected. Your health, your wealth, and your purpose is all interconnected. It's all interconnected. And I'm so thankful that you kind of brought that full circle, going back to Nature's Legacy Garden, how this business is bringing us back into connection with the health and wealth and purpose of the land.
Yes. And everybody has an aspect. Everybody walking what the Most High has told you. Don't try to reproduce what somebody else said. Seek the Most High. And if this is what's on your heart, because not everybody wants to own the business, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has a piece to play. The Most High he's it's like, think of it as an intricate chess game. And every piece, even pawns, have purposes. People always look down on a pawn, but a pawn can easily be flipped and turned into a queen, the most powerful piece in chess. A pawn easily, if you let most of the best traps played in chess, is people ignoring the pawns because they're looking at the knights and the bishops and the rooks, and they miss that little pawn that makes it to his approved destination, and it turns into a whole different thing and changes the whole board. So don't disdain your small beginning. Don't disdain your lack of knowledge. Let the Most High lead you and guide you. Don't look at what you don't have, because the Most High will give where you don't have. The Most High will provide where you lack. Take it from us at Q2UA. We will tell you firsthand, the Most High has his hand in so much stuff.
Yes, he does.
It's not because, everybody in there is just some super ultra geniuses and everything. It's because we're led by the will of the Most High.
Yes.
And he has been opening doors. But it takes willing vessels that's willing to be selfless and walk through a door and be uncomfortable for a little minute, because freedom is uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's different. That's what it is. You're feeling freedom. You're feeling yourself come out of the norm of the slave that has been pushed into you for 400 years, and now you're walking into your freedom. It feels weird.
Yes. Brother Red, I don't know if I ever told y'all, I instructed my children that when they do my funeral, they are instructed to inform my children and my grandchildren that their grandma was a runaway slave. I'm bucking. I started off a slave, but I ain't going out a slave. No, sir.
I know that's right. Hey, it's time for a commercial Nat Turner revolution.
For real. We are promoting businesses here at Quest Unite Africa. Quest Unite Africa is not here just to say, what can you do for Quest Unite Africa? Quest Unite Africa is here to say, how can we promote you? How can we serve you? How can we build up your business? What can we do to bring our relational brain trust to build you up, right, and to give you community where you can thrive, so that we can take our international influence, and do business on the continent for the prosperity of our own people. Y'all, that's what we are on. And we appreciate you spreading the word, sharing the announcement about Nature's Legacy Garden, learning from an amazing and blessed woman of Yah who is gifted in the area, and her business is for a bigger mission. It is for a bigger purpose. It's not just a gardening class. This is sowing a seed into the bigger vision that she has for healing the land in Africa. So if you know anyone who would love to support a Black-owned business with a mission, a kingdom mission, share the word, questionateafrica.org, Nature's Legacy Garden, and spread the word to support our family in their economic endeavors. We pray for their success and those of any other of our people's business who we can support and promote. Please contact us so that we can find out more about how we can support you, because we got to go make some money together, y'all.
That's right. And I also want to talk about He Say, She Say on Lawful Love's channel that comes out on Mondays, talking about business. Sister Char's in the business of mediation. She does it very, very well. We're serious about this, man. Everybody got business. If you got a business, man, look, this is not a selfish organization. We trying to put everybody on. And that's the goal, using our relationships to help you and help what you got, everything there. So when we close out, I'm going to close out with Nature's Legacy Garden. And then I'm also going to put on a He Say, She Say, so y'all can get a good understanding of that. Every Monday at 6:00, you'll hear Sister Shar talking about that. And then this Friday, we are going to have our innovative sisters on for Nature's Legacy Garden, so you can start hearing more from the business owners within Q2UA and really start hearing that we're not just talking about this. We're really putting our foot on the ground and doing this.
Amen.
So, is there anything left that you had to say, Sister Shar?
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I didn't know we were gonna be buddied up this morning. And you know what? Sister Princess and Sister Fataya did their thing now, but they did say that that the board threw the introverts onto
The introverts.
For the record, I'm an introvert too. So, but you know what? The extroverts like Red, y'all pulled me out. So I appreciate that. This was a real treat this morning. It was good to serve with you this morning.
It was good being around with y'all as well. Good being with y'all as well. So with that, we thank y'all for coming in today, and we'll invite you to join us again tomorrow as we continue on this Q2UA promo week. Y'all have a blessed day.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.